You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, B&B fans. As you know, Matthew Atkinson plays reformed or semi-reformed bad boy Thomas Forrester on Bold and the Beautiful. But did you know, in real life, he appears to need no reforming. He's a man of great faith and who, like Thomas, needs only one woman in his life. Matt Atkinson married his fiancée Brytnee Ratledge on Wednesday, November 8th in Nevada, and I've got all the details, the photos, and the list of who was there from B&B and who was not, and it's pretty interesting. Hey, if you've not, please reach down, click subscribe, and now let's take a look. So Matt Atkinson proposed to his girlfriend Brytnee, and they announced he'd put a ring on it back in June of 2023. So they got engaged and married within just a few months. But did you know the cute story about their engagement? So a friend of Brytnee's, who's also a bridesmaid of hers, wrote up their engagement story for Matt and Brytnee's wedding site. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's very long, but I pulled out just a few pieces of it to tell you guys about because it is so darned adorable. Thomas may be a bad boy at times, but Matthew Atkinson, he seems to be just all heart. So she labeled this story, Matt and Britt, and there's like 1,200 words. I'm not reading you guys all that, I promise, just a few sentences. So she writes, Matt pulled Brytnee's father aside to ask the most sacred question. With his blessing, Matt began the journey of ring shopping. Then we skipped down some. As Matt began proposal preparation, he knew Britt had just one true request, that it be caught on camera. She wanted to be able to relive it and reminisce until the end of time. Matt knew the exact place. He'd spent weeks planning the perfect road trip through some of their favorite spots to visit, with Maisel in tow. Of course, if you don't know, Maisel is their Dalmatian. She's completely adorable. She continues, just as the magical road trip was about to commence, it was unexpectedly and abruptly canceled. And then she continues, over the next several months, Matt would dream up all kinds of proposal ideas and destinations, but nothing would stick. Skipping down. Then one Sunday, in an effort to get out of bustling Los Angeles, Matt and Britt decided to pack up their bags and their spots, that's what they call Maisel, and head for Big Sur for a night of camping. Skipping down. The drive was 5 hours, and he'd planned it so they'd get to the top where he would set up camp and the tripod right at sunset, position the photo perfectly, and as Britt would turn to fix her hair, Matt would get down on one knee and express his unending love for her. But upon arrival and after 5 hours of driving, the road to the top was closed off thanks to all that California rain. All right, we're going to skip down some more. So Matt, an expert in pivoting at this point, finds a perfect spot on the beach where he spent 20 minutes setting up the perfect camera shot from the rocks nearby. The conversation was going so beautifully, everything was aligned. Just as the most important words of his life were about to escape his mouth, a group of rowdy beer drinkers happened upon the same spot as Matt and Britt, killing the entire vibe. Again, it's now dusk, and the two were settling into their campsite for the evening when Matt remembers he has a beautiful string of Christmas twinkle lights in the truck. Proposal attempt number 4. This is going to be beautiful. Set up the lights, and by the campfire, he'll ask the most beautiful girl in the world the most important question of his life. 2 years of troubleless twinkle, and the lights decided they'd twinkled their last twinkle right then and there. Brytnee tweaked every single bulb on the string, but the lights were gone. Night turned to morning, and Matt could take it no longer. It didn't matter. They weren't near the beach, and the twinkle lights had gone out. He set up the tripod that morning for proposal attempt number 5. Just as Matt, Britt, and Maisel settled into frame, the park ranger that they had met the previous day surprised them by bringing her pup to play with Maisel. A speechless Matt took that tripod back down for the 100th time, tucked it into the truck, and once again they were off. So then they were driving up the Pacific Coast Highway, the PCH. Britt notices a stunning lighthouse just off the highway, and Matt decides immediately this spot will be a breathtaking spot for proposal number 6. And I really believe it would have been if the road to it wasn't blocked and closed. That's proposal number 6. Skipping down, Matt then pulls into the same little town from a couple of years prior where they stayed at the Bluebird Inn. So faithfully in the parking lot of the Bluebird Inn that morning at his wit's end, Matt pulled out the tripod for the 7th and final time. He tearfully spoke the most important words of his life to the most important person in his life, and all that's left now is to celebrate. That is a big, big, long thing, but I wanted to give you guys the gist of it because it's so sweet. It took 7 proposals for him to be able to actually get to propose. So, all right, now let's talk about the wedding. What's really interesting was to see the array of bold and the beautiful people at Matt Atkinson's wedding. Matt married Brytnee at the Tahoe Blue Estate in Lake Tahoe, Nevada on Wednesday, November 8th in front of friends, family, and co-stars. What's particularly interesting is one of Matt Atkinson's groomsmen was none other than Scott Clifton, who plays Liam Spencer. Clearly, Scott and Matt are great friends, unlike Liam and Thomas on Bold. Also on hand were Kimberlin Brown, who plays Sheila Carter, another behind-the-scenes buddy of Matt Atkinson's. And speaking of B&B characters that don't get along, there's Brooke, who hates Thomas, but actress Katherine Kelly Lang was all smiles on the guest list as she attended Matt and Brytnee's wedding. Also on hand was Ashley Jones, who plays Bridget Forrester, and Casey Kasprike, who's a producer on Bold and Beautiful. And of course, Thomas's sister from the same Mr. Steffy was also on hand. Jacqueline MacInnes Wood was also there. So one who missed it was Courtney Hope, and she once played Thomas's love interest Sally on B&B, but is now over on Y&R. However, she posted her best wishes and said she was sad she couldn't be there. Hope Logan actress Annika Noelle, who's Matt's primary scene partner, also was not at the ceremony, and there was no sign of either Thorsten, Kaye, or John McCook, who play Ridge and Eric Forrester. But lots of family and several people made the road trip from LA to Tahoe. Of course, their families, a bunch of friends were there for the destination wedding in Tahoe. The resort where they married looks absolutely amazing. I've got pictures that you guys are seeing. I'm throwing all the pictures I have in, so that way you guys can pause, you can rewind, you can look at them. It's this really amazing area. It's mountainous with these deep crystal waters of the lake behind it and snow-capped peaks in the distance. So now we wish congratulations to Matt Atkinson and his new wife, Brytnee Ratledge Atkinson. So the question now is, when do we get a Thomas and Hope wedding on Bold and the Beautiful now that he got his real life dream wedding? Congrats to them. Be sure and share your comments below. What do you think about this amazing wedding? It looks like they're just standing on the edge of a cliff while they were saying their vows. If you look back at some of these pictures, absolutely gorgeous. They look so happy to be getting hitched. Drop your comments. Please subscribe if you haven't below, and come back soon for more on Bold and the Beautiful.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.